and I talked about this on Fair Territory yesterday. I kind of went on a rant that all this concern clubs have over the WBC and fans have. Uh, Once the season starts, things seem to go awry, even with players under their protection of the clubs, under the club's watch. It's just the nature of the game in many ways. And the one that sticks out to me of the ones you mentioned is Tim Anderson and the White Sox in general. They've got Eloy on the injured list, Joe Kelly on the injured list, Moncada is dealing with something, and here we go again. Injuries crushed this team last season. They're already down in the bullpen without Hendricks and Crochet. They feel they're going to have a great bullpen once those guys come back. So here's the old question. If they're healthy, yes, they're a really good team. But if they're not healthy, they're not. And that's what they're facing. Ian Anderson has gone backwards. Maybe now we know why. Maybe the physical part of that and the elbow was part of the reason he regressed. And Correa, the back has been the issue over the years, not the ankle that came up during the winter when he was, of course, dealing with the Mets and the Giants and not getting signed or not getting deals completed. So that one to me is less of a concern because he takes care of himself really well and he seems to know how to take care of that particular issue. He's done things over the past couple of years really to address that. But the White Sox, it seems to be more of a team-wide thing, and that is concerning.
Is Adley Rutschman a star? What do you think?
It's not really a debate in my mind, and I'm with Todd and AJ on this. You have to be a guy for a few years, an established player, someone who puts up numbers over a little bit of a course of time before you are a superstar in this game. Now, Wander Franco absolutely has the potential to be that. Adley Rutschman has the potential to be that. I'm a little reluctant to declare them as that just yet. We saw Wander last year, injury-plagued campaign, appeared in only half the Rays games. Adley Rutschman obviously has not even played a full season yet. So do I expect both these guys will be superstars? Absolutely. Are they superstars right now at the level that AJ was talking about with Trout and Harper and that crowd, Mookie? No, it's not even close.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
So Wander Franco got the deal from the Rays. Are the Orioles going to sign Adley Rutschman? Like, if I'm an Oriole person, I'm saying here's $200 million. Here's whatever it takes for 10 years.
Because he's a star.
Because, well, he might not be a star, a superstar, but he's the face of the Orioles.
Yeah.
So lock him up for 10 years, 200, whatever the going rate is. Like the Rays, I give the Rays credit. They don't spend money, but they locked up Franco.
Great question, AJ. And in my opinion, they should be aggressive on that front, not just with Rutschman, but with some others too. Maybe Gunnar Henderson, who is even less established. But the Orioles' spending is a question for me right now. And we thought in the offseason they'd spend a little more, and they didn't. They were very modest in what they did. Now, their rationale was we're going to be better in 24 than 23, better in 25 than in 24, so we are going to just wait before we get heavy into the free agent market. I sort of buy that, but with players like Rutschman in particular, that's an exception, and that's a guy you want to lock up long term. Now, obviously, Rutschman would have to play along and be willing to sign that kind of deal, and certainly it would take a lot of money to do so. But I'm not sure where they are from an ownership perspective. They talk a big game. He's Max Scherzer, and Eric, I expect that he's going to figure it out because he's a great athlete with a great mind for pitching and one of the great performers of our age. He is a superstar. So he definitely is having an adjustment with the clock. And we asked him about that last night post-game. And he said the issue for him is with a runner on base and at the start of an at-bat, because he feels that's a time in the past where the natural rhythm of the game would slow down. And he'd take a breath and assess where he is, etc. And now he can't do that. The clock is right there. It gets going right away. The whole thing is an adjustment. And it's especially an adjustment for pitchers who have not been in the minors in this era. Older guys like Scherzer. And it's something he's going to have to deal with. Now, he's also in a spot right now where he's not seemingly at his best. He was better last night, 5 scoreless, but it took 97 pitches to get through it. Ran deep counts all night. It's the Padres. It's a good lineup, but it's also a team that got in at 3 a.m. the night before. So I would expect that would mitigate a little bit of their edge. It's interesting to see how this is all playing out for all players on both sides of the ball. And with Scherzer, we'll just have to see. With Verlander, we'll have to see. He's never done this either once he returns. So I don't know where it's going. And one of the fascinating parts of this season for Scherzer, for every player, is that adjustment and how it will take place and whether it will be successful or not.